This hasn't happened in more than 100 years. The last time was in 1910 when a motion to vacate was done to try and remove the Speaker of the House. And just recently, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has been removed from office. Now, this is mind-blowing stuff, guys.
With no permanent Speaker and no clear frontrunner for the job.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Now former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy ousted by a group of 8 far-right rebels, joined by all Democrats.
If I lose my job over doing what I truly believe was right, I'm very at peace with it.
McCarthy saying he won't run for Speaker again, pinning blame on the opposition party and on his GOP opponents, led by Florida conservative firebrand Matt Gaetz.
You all know Matt Gaetz. You know it was personal. I haven't heard him say one true thing yet.
Speaker McCarthy's time is over. I have no personal animus to him. I hope he finds fruitful pastures.
In January, Gaetz was the last GOP holdout to oppose making McCarthy Speaker, ultimately voting present on the 15th ballot. To placate critics, McCarthy made key concessions, including lowering the number of votes required to start the process to oust a Speaker to just 1.
And with that, McCarthy is sent home packing with a 216 to 210 vote in favor of vacating the Speaker position in the House, with 8 Republicans, as you just watched, voting with all of the Democrats in the House. Now, here's a problem that affects all of us. Until a Speaker is put into place, these guys can't pass any legislation. They are, however, placing Representative Patrick McHenry as the temporary Speaker for now, or more formally known as Speaker pro tempore, as this was the name that McCarthy gave in the case that a vote like this happened. So McHenry, though, can't do all the duties of a speaker. Just like what I said about legislation being passed, all he can do is kind of put House in recess, adjourn chambers, and recognize speaker nominations. And he's already saying that they have to go to recess so that both parties can kind of regroup and discuss what's going to happen moving forward. Remember, this has not happened in 113 years, folks. We're in uncharted territory right now. Now, for any of you guys that may have forgotten, the Speaker is the most senior member in the lower chamber of Congress and is the second in the presidential line of succession, right after the VP, of course. Democrats in the House were more than happy to remove McCarthy, with Hakeem Jeffries, basically the counterpart of McCarthy in the House, saying that this civil war that's been going on with the Republicans now, it has to end. So here's my question. Do you guys think that things will be better for Americans with this one vote? Or should we expect no change in our lives at this point? Maybe things get worse. Now, while you guys are thinking about what you're going to answer, make sure to smash the like button for the video. It definitely helps out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And stay updated by subscribing to the channel and turning on all notifications. Appreciate all the support, you guys. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the White House. What do you think is going to be on their minds right now? So here's a clue. Not the welfare of the American people.
I mean, this vacancy has serious implications for a number of issues that are important to the American people. What's at stake?
Well, Nora, there's no gloating on this end of Pennsylvania Avenue tonight. We just got a short statement saying that the president hopes that the House elects a new speaker quickly, because you're right, this vacancy creates major uncertainty for the White House on several fronts. Take Ukraine, for instance. The president called a meeting with major allies this morning just to reassure them and to say he's confident that Congress will soon pass another aid package for Ukraine. But it's hard to see how he can have that confidence when he has no idea right now who the next speaker will be and whether that person even supports aid to Ukraine. A number of House Republicans don't.
And Nancy, you know, this all comes about just after we averted a government shutdown, but the fix was only temporary. So what does this mean for a future government shutdown?
That's right, Nora. The clock is ticking. That short deal runs out in just 43 days. So the question is, how do you pass legislation that prevents a government shutdown without a permanent speaker in place who can make some tough calls?
I don't need to add any more to that, do I? So the issue that Republicans have now is that, I mean, if 3 out of the last 3 Republican speakers have either just kind of given up or was ousted, what's encouraging the next one to want to step up to the plate? Because the fear is that they're just going to be called out right away by this party, especially given that they look really divided right now. But I gotta address this. Did the Democratic Party put politics first by removing McCarthy the first chance that they could? Because look, they could have voted otherwise and waited for a longer deal for the budget. But now they're all on the clock, and it's again possible that we see a government shutdown. Some say that McCarthy had to keep the government running and a deal with Democrats was the only thing available to him. So what do you guys think? Now, we're already seeing trouble brewing because some Republicans aren't happy that Democrats all piled in to get McCarthy out, with these same people in the bipartisan group of the Problem Solvers Caucus thinking about quitting. That's a huge deal, folks, because right now, Republicans who used to work with Democrats to get bills passed, they're going to be hesitant and they're going to think, well, you know, those guys took out our guy for what we thought was the right thing. What makes us say that we can trust them? It's going to take a speaker that can touch base with both sides to get talks started again. But I'm worried that less will be done because of this. I mean, this is like a breach of trust, isn't it? Now, there are some names that are being floated around, but one of them kind of surprised me. How do you guys feel about having former President Donald Trump as speaker? Wouldn't that be something? So Troy Nehls of Texas says that he's nominating Trump because he's the greatest president in his lifetime, and he says that the former president has time and time again proven that he puts America first.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party. We have some great people. I just want to say we have some great people.
Would you take the job?
A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm focused. You know, we're leading. I don't know you. I'm sure you don't read too much in the papers, but we're leading by like 50 points for president. You know, my focus is totally on that. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party that could do a great job as Speaker.
Well, what about
Marjorie
you?
Taylor Greene called for you to be Speaker yesterday.
Yeah, I think she's a wonderful woman, Marjorie, and a lot of other people are close to that too. I'll do whatever it is to help, but my focus, my total focus is being president and, quite honestly, making America great again.
Now, legally, this wouldn't be an issue, especially since the speaker doesn't have to be a member of Congress. Although there hasn't been a time when a speaker has taken up a role without holding a seat. But man, wouldn't that just kind of shake things up insanely in the House? Now, speaking of shaking things up, another former speaker is being told to move. Who? Oh, Nancy Pelosi, that's who. Now, she's not being asked to give up her seat, just her office. You see, the temporary speaker right now, Patrick McHenry, he sent an email to Pelosi's office and basically said that her current office will be reassigned for speaker office use and for Pelosi to vacate the space within 24 hours. Wow. 24 hours.
McHenry's first order of business was to evict Nancy Pelosi from one of her offices. Her stuff is already being moved out. Please vacate the space tomorrow. The room will be rekeyed, he decreed. Pelosi was taken off guard. She's in San Francisco paying tribute to the late Senator Dianne Feinstein. Sadly, because I am in California to mourn the loss of my dear friend, I am unable to retrieve my belongings at this time. The chaos on the Hill is only getting started.
But what are your thoughts on this major change to the House of Representatives? It's like we're making history every single week now, huh? Be sure to get into the conversation in the comments down below. And before I go, guys, I just want to thank you all for just keeping me company today. Appreciate the likes. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.